10 pinballs. 10 pinballs. 10 pinballs. 10 pinballs.
There we go. We've got sound. Sorry for the delay there, everybody. I just had to make sure that everything was working properly. Sound. And it wasn't. So now that it is, hopefully we can get started here. In any case, if you are a fan of Dragons Duel, welcome. You know me. I'm Ryan. I am an editor here at Dragons Duel, as well as being co-host for Hamilton. Keep him in line. Anyways, just to kind of get you guys excited for what's coming up, I decided that I would show you guys kind of what I do in the editing bay. So, if you want to buckle up and see this stupidness, then let's get going. So, what I've done here is, if you look in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen here, just underneath me, I've loaded in the applicable sources, if you will, that I'll be using to make this video. So for right now, I'm just going to show you guys sort of what we're working with to begin with, and then I'll show you guys sort of how my brain works and how I do the things that I do. So in any case, yeah, here we go. I'll just show you what we're working with. Raw recording.
Off sigil into the, just imagining it. That's great. You've pulled this taut, you've got yourself up, you run, and you just go like a rocket, like this, like fist forward, and tumble all three of them like bowling balls, 10 pin balls, like 10 pins, and they just go down and get squashed into this vestibule where they were looking at the hourglass. They were all facing the other way at the time, let's say, and you just squashed them.
So, keeping with Dragons Duel's tradition, obviously, it's a little ridiculous. So we gotta make it even more ridiculous, right? So, after talking it over with Hamilton and whatnot, I think we came up with some pretty good ideas as to what we want to do. Now, I've kind of pre-done a lot of this work, and then I undid everything so that I could show you guys what it looks like. So I'm going to be jumping around to different stuff, and it might not make a whole lot of sense, but really the point of this video is just to show you guys really how my brain works, or doesn't. So in any case, I'm just going to jump to a predetermined timestamp, and now I'm going to add in this video clip right here. You'll see why in just a minute. And then I'm also going to jump forward here. Yep, that's right. Got a rocket. I'm going to jump forward here. I'm going to make this quick cut. I'm going to cut this piece of the video out, and then I will remove that. And then the next piece is putting this in. Oh, no, that's not right. First, I'm going to jump to the predetermined timetable. And then I'll just jump this guy in here. Okay, so this is kind of what we're working with now. And this will look a little bit better as we go. And I'm going to do a little bit of tweaking here and there and make it cool. And you'll be able to follow along and see Like I say, like I keep saying over and over again, see how my brain works. Or doesn't.
Off sigil into the semantic. That's
Go
great.
for main engine start. We have main engine start.
You've got yourself up, you run, and you
2,
just go like
1.
a rocket.
Booster
Like this,
ignition.
like,
And the
forward,
final liftoff of
and
Discovery.
tumble, all three of them like bowling balls. 10-pin balls, like 10-pin pins, and they just go down and get squashed into this vestibule where they were looking at the hourglass. They were all facing the other way at the time, let's say, and you just squash them.
Okay, so we're gonna obviously see this a couple of times. Just that's how editing works. Is you see the same 5 seconds over and over and over and over again, in case you were unaware. So what I want to do here is, obviously we don't want to cover up the entire screen. So what I'm going to do is, just behind where my camera feed is, I'm going to pull up the effects controls. You guys can't see it because that's where my camera is. But I'm just going to mess around with some things. You know what? Actually, I'm going to move my camera over so that you guys can see it better. There. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So, sorry, there's a little bit of a delay on my end, so I got to make sure that everything's working before I go too fast. In any case, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add an opacity timed effect. So I have selected the rocket launch file. So what I need to do is find there. It's right there. So I have to find the first instant in which the clip enters in, and I want to add opacity, but I want to make this timed opacity. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to start at 0. And then I'm going to jump forward to the end of the file. And I want to, sorry, I'm just going to move this a little bit so that I can see. I want to add a keyframe at that last possible second, and I want to pump it up to 100. So let's see what that looks like now.
Off sigil into the semantic.
Go for main engine start. We have main engine start.
You've got yourself up, you run, and you
2,
just go like
1.
a rocket.
Booster
Like this,
ignition.
like,
And the final liftoff
and
of Discovery.
tumble, all three of them like bowling balls.
Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but in my opinion, the audio is a little bit too loud. It's kind of overshadowing what Hamilton is saying. So what I want to do is, again, rewind all the way to the first frame. And then I'm going to open up this audio panel so I can see it a little bit better. Just make it a little bit more visible to me. And I'm going to play it through again, but I'm going to make a mental note of where I want the audio to actually pick up. Because what I want to do is I'm going to try and get rid of all of this audio that's overshadowing Hamilton and bring it in when it really matters. Okay.
Go for main engine start. We have main engine start.
You've got yourself up, you run, and you
2.
just.
Okay. So I think this is right where I want to be, right at this keyframe here. So I'm going to select, again, I want to make sure that I have selected the correct source file, because Premiere Pro is very picky as to where everything's at. So what I'm going to do, again, is I'm going to make this a keyframed file. So right now we're at timestamp 10.07. So we're going to go all the way back. So I'm gonna add a audio keyframe here, and I'm gonna drop it like way down. You won't be able to hear that at all. And then I'm going to keyword to 10.07. I'm going to add another keyframe. I'm going to bring it to 0. And now let's see what that's like.
Into the just imagining it. That's great.
We have been into the start.
You've got yourself up, you run, and you
2,
just go like
1.
a rocket.
Booster
This
ignition.
like
And the final liftoff of Discovery.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to rewind to where the rocket audio says, and we have liftoff. And now I want to kind of bring that volume down, again, just because we don't want to overshadow what Hamilton's saying. So I think it's right about here at mark 1350. So let's check out how accurate I am.
And the final liftoff of...
Yep, perfect. So we're going to go back to 1350. I'm going to add another keyframe. Nope. Another keyframe. Oh, shoot. That's not what I wanted to do. See, I got ahead of myself and did not select the correct audio, or the correct source file. So now I want to select the rocket launch source file, add a keyframe, fast forward to the end. Yeah, that's the last frame. Add a keyframe, and see, I did it again. Damn it. Okay, delete that keyframe. Get on the rocket launch. Add a keyframe. Drop it down to a negative infinity so you can't hear it at all. Now let's back it up one more time. Check our work.
Just imagining it. That's great.
We have been into the start.
You've got yourself up, you run, and you
2,
just go like
1.
a rocket.
Booster
This
ignition.
like
And
fist
the
forward
final liftoff
and
of
tumble. All three of them like
See, I think that kind of works. I think that works a lot better than just the raw deal. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the bowling section that Hamilton's talking about. He's talking about how Steely Dan launches himself across this giant pit and collides into some NPCs that are across on the other side of the pit and knocks them over like bowling balls. And so what I did is I grabbed a video clip. Actually, both the video clips that I'm using here can be found on pixabay.com. It's a awesome resource for video editing and all that sort of stuff because all of it is in the Creative Commons space. And so you're able to use it respectfully without having to license anything, which is great for small companies and small operations like us at Dragons Duel. So anyway, Pixabay, great spot if you are new to video editing, new to streaming, all that sort of stuff. Pixabay is a great spot. You can get all sorts of free content. In any case, back to the matter at hand. So I got this. I got both images from Pixabay, or both video clips rather from Pixabay, and decided to add this one of bowling balls just kind of flailing around all over the place.
And they just go down and get squashed.
And you see how the pins kind of slow down and suspend right when Hamilton says squashed. Like I said before, I kind of did a little bit of work ahead of time just so that I could make this a little bit more streamlined for you guys all. So, yeah, basically, I positioned it in the correct spot. Now I need to cut that excess off because we don't really need that anymore. everybody's going to kind of get the general idea of what Hamilton's talking about. So we're going to get rid of this excess. Let's rewind, make sure that we didn't screw anything up.
Bowling balls. 10 pin balls, like 10 pins, and they just go down and get squashed into this vestibule.
Okay, so again, what I want to do here is I want to change the opacity. So let's go back to the first instance right there. So I'm going to make it a keyframe deal. Oh shoot, I did it again. Sorry guys, I'm going to keep doing this over and over again. This is how things go in my editing bay, at least. It's constantly doing something and realizing you didn't do it the way that you meant to do it, undoing it, and then doing it the way you meant to do it. So, in any case, grab the right source. Select opacity as a toggled event. It automatically adds a keyframe at the beginning for me. I'm going to drop the opacity to... I'm going to drop it to 0. And what I want to do here, actually, is I don't ever want it to be 100%, so I'm going to play a couple of frames. And add another keyframe. And now I'm going to bring up the opacity just enough to where you guys can see it. I'm going to go with 65%. Let's see how that looks. See, I don't think that looks bad at all.
10 pin balls, like 10 pins, and they just go down and get squashed.
I'm going to go to the absolute last keyframe. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go maybe about here because I don't want it to just cut off. It looks weird when you do stuff like that. So I'm just going to back up a little bit, add a keyframe, go forward to the very end. And one last keyframe and 0. Okay, let's take a look.
10 pin balls, like 10 pins, and they just go down and get squashed.
Okay, cool. So the other thing that I want to do here is I wanted to, and this is all going to be new because I actually haven't used all of the effects that I'm thinking about using here. What I want to do is on the unedited version of this video, let's drop another one in just so you guys can see what it's like, just as a reminder. Go forward. So what I want to do here is you see all this green space? There are a couple of tools that can be used to get rid of that. Like I said, because this is a Creative Commons clip, that means I'm allowed to edit it in any way that I deem necessary for my purposes. So it's going to allow me to, basically it opens up for me to be able to use it how I want and not have to license it. So I know I keep repeating myself, but hey, whatever. In any case, so let's go back to our original file. Now there's a couple of effects that we can do this with. Lumetri is, there's a bunch of stuff in Lumetri, but let's go into this search bar. Let's see. Let's just look up what we get when we look up color. Color pass, color replace, color key. Let's try color key. Drop that in. Another one in. I'm going to fast forward it. Select this. I'm going to grab this dropper. Select the green. Color tolerance. I'm going to so let's see what that did. Did it get us anything? Nah, not really. Yeah, I'm just not digging that necessarily. Let's see what happens if we turn it up. There we go. So as you can see, this original video seems to have kind of put in a low pass. Basically what they've done is they've added green hue into those pins. So whenever you know what, actually, I think what it's doing is it's just grabbing. Yeah. You know what, let's get rid of this. Let's look at some other effects that we could try. Color, has color corrector, 3-by color corrector, color emboss, color change color, auto color. Let's try color pass. That might work for what we want. That's not what I wanted to do. I want to grab, fast forward. Use our little dropper, select that up. Yeah, see, that's what they've done. We're gonna actually add quite a bit to similarity. Let's go. What's 10 gonna give us? No. Let's drop it down even more. 4, 0. There we go. I kind of like that. I'm fine with it being black and white because it allows you to see what's going on the screen a little bit better. So let's rewind again and take a look.
10 pin balls, like 10 pin pins, and they just go down and get squashed into this vestibule where they were looking at the hourglass. They were all facing the other way at the time, let's say, and you just squash them.
Okay, so I thought it looked good. I'm thinking about adding some sound effects, getting rid of Hamilton's farty squash sound and come up with something else to put in there. That will be more stuff to add, but basically it'll give you guys an opportunity to watch the actual release of this thing. I'm not going to say dates as to when it comes out because I can't remember off the top of my head, and Hamilton will get mad at me if I tell you the wrong date. So stay tuned for it. If you guys follow us on Twitter, then you will be able to... I'm sure Hamilton will be blowing up our Twitter page to promo when we actually release this thing. This is going to be a 3-part, just as it was with the first season. We did the championship game in a 3-parter, and we have recorded everything so far, I believe. So now it's just up to me to edit it and get it ready for you guys to all see. We're going to take a quick break after we do the championship games. We've got a lot of cool content coming your guys' way, like we're doing some actual play stuff, we're doing some outside of the realm of D&D stuff, we're doing some really dorky stuff. We've got we're partnering officially with Brain Adventures, which is awesome. Logan and Izzy, you guys rock. I'm super looking forward to starting that actual play that we're going to be doing. Hint, hint. To the audience out there. In any case, yeah, it's been really fun showing you guys how my brain works. I hope that it was somewhat entertaining. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, be sure to blast them on our chat the next time that we are on live, or leave a comment here on YouTube. or reach out to us on Twitch. In any case, you guys have been great. Thanks for watching, and have fun.